This is F.D. Recovery, where we interview addicts and alcoholics.
Our aim is that through this podcast, we might help you on your journey of recovery.
Thank you for listening. All right, my name is Frank. This is F.D. Recovery, and I am an addict. I got a guest host today, which you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Eric. I'm an addict.
Cool. And we have a guest here to kind of berate and interview. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Mac, and I'm an addict.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So, all right, Mac. I mean, where are you from?
I'm from San Jose. But before we start, I just want to say thank you for when you guys asked me to do the podcast. I'm like, cut it out. I'm like, really? I'm like, thank you. Like that means a lot right there. Like that I'm really moving on with my recovery and my life and everything. But thank you for this opportunity.
You were appointed from Dave. He's like, oh, let's get Mac on here. So I'm like, fuck yeah. For the listeners, if you want to state your clean date.
My clean date is December 3rd, 2022.
Oh yeah.
So this December I'll have 2 years clean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I'm from San Jose, California. I grew up in the Bay Area, and I moved out here 2018, the end of 2018, because of a divorce. So I had to leave San Jose because I was getting too a lot of emotions, a lot of craziness. But
okay, before we go down there, I would like to know your first time using or drinking.
My first time using was probably before 10, 8 or 9.
Oh wow.
And it started off with marijuana and cigarettes and beer. You know? That's how it started off. But it started a lot sooner than that. If I really look for working recovery, working your steps, you find out a lot about yourself. And there was one thing in my life that, when you some part in your life where you just stop growing, you know what I mean? You stop developing into a good, person going to school. I remember when I was a kid, I used to get awards and I was all into school. But when my dad left, that's when everything started.
Tell us a little bit about that. That sounds like it's one of your first traumas, huh?
Yeah, it was. I think I shared that in a meeting one time, and it was just my last, interaction with my dad, and it wasn't good. And I don't remember what happened after that, but I remember his look when he was coming up to the door. It was just that look of because he just as you grow older, you can people's how do you say it, their
nonverbal cues.
Yeah, nonverbal stuff that. Verbal, and when he started walking up to the door, he just had this he went like that, you know what I mean? And I remember that, and I never really thought about that, but that was my first. It was seared into my memory. I never forgot that until I got older.
How old do you think you were at that time?
I was 7.
Okay, so that's real early.
6 or 7.
Okay.
It was 1980.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was born in 73, so it was and I was waiting for him. You know what I mean? Waiting for him, but from then on, that's where it all started. You're a little kid, you're not looking for drugs or you're not looking for stuff like that, But that's where it all started. That's where I kind of gravitated because there's no dad now. There's gangs out there.
So did you realize that right away? As far as immediately, or you said you did some step work, right? And you found that out. But when you were young and you were starting to use, did you recognize it right away?
Never.
Okay, so that was a later on thing.
It was a later on thing. You know what I mean? You never look at that when you're younger. You don't be looking at stuff that really affects your life and stuff. You're just living the way you're living, And I was the only one in the family that kind of maybe because I remember, back then it was only me waiting. My other brothers were younger than me. They were probably sleeping. My mom wasn't even in the living room when I was waiting, but I would always wait for my dad. and I'll take his boots off and all that. But he wasn't there, and I don't know what happened after that because I kind of like the memory of that was gone. Like I could have been, it could have been because my mom and dad were fighting so much. But I could say right there that part started me off into a path of like just destruction because like when I got into gangs and school fights, I used to fight. Dude, I used to fight teachers. Dude, like I was. I remember one time a teacher grabbed me. He was so pissed at me. He grabbed me by my arm and pulled it. He was a big dude, Mister Garza, and he had glasses on and everything. He was probably a good teacher and everything. I didn't give a shit though, but like he grabbed my arm and taking me to the office, and he was squeezing my arm and pulling it up so high because he was tall. I couldn't take it, so I just put my leg in front of him and pulled him. And I remember we both went down, and I could see his face hit the ground.
Oh, shit. And
I'm like, and he gets up. Like, he's about to kill me, but he doesn't. He just takes me to the office. And then I think that's when everything started going crazy in school. After that.
Started acting out,
my mom, yeah. My mom would cry, "What's happening to my son? Oh, my God." I'm like, I would slam the sliding door, go to school, and leave. And
you know what? The funny you say that because there's a lot of correlations to fatherless boys that causes a lot of that. I read up and watch interviews and stuff like that, and that's a big thing. A lot of our men out there they're fatherless, and if you did have a father, they're usually abusive. So because that was my story and a lot of other stories that I know. Some people do have them and they still go down this path, but the reality is the fatherless boys out there end up going down these paths.
That's pretty much where it all started. And then you grow up, in an area where it's all gangs. It just develops into something more.
And whereabouts again?
San Jose.
San Jose, yeah.
We grew up on the east side. It's all bad.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with that area. I do know that the east side out there is pretty tough. Yeah. I grew up just around that area, Hollister, Salinas, all that. Gilroy. It's all. We were bouncing around, mostly Hollister. Then when I was teens and 20s, it was Salinas, and I had a lot of family out in that area.
Yeah, it was crazy there. I remember my dad and my mom were still together, and I remember like the first time I seen how, like, I'd never seen like anything that, as a kid you don't really know that you're in a bad area, but I remember going into a Jack in the Box. It was and it was on King and Story, right where everything's at, and there were lowriders out there, and they were arguing. They were already fighting. So my mom had me by the hand. We came in, but when we were coming out, so I guess they were already fighting there. But they had this dude under the car, and they're all lowriders. They were bouncing the car from the lowriders on his chest.
Oh,
I don't know if they killed him. I just remember getting in the van and looking at the window, like what the.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, dude. But that's they were bouncing it on him.
Yeah, that's some serious shit to see. How old were you think you were?
I was probably like 6 or 7. It was right when my dad left, dude.
So you have early memories, huh? Because a lot of people I've talked to, they can't. I remember a lot when I was young. Obviously, it's not like a motion picture, but bits and pieces.
Sometimes you see traumatic stuff like that. It's seared into your memory. It never goes away. Yeah, it never goes away, man. But it was crazy. Yeah.
So you think that you mentioned the gangs. So what started first? What you think it was? Maybe the gangs, or was it the drugs first, or maybe it was
the drugs first. So there was a lot of kids that were in my situation that we all hang out together. And I remember one of my friend's dads, he was big on coke, and we were like 8 or 9. My dad was gone. And we're already smoking pot, or we'll find cigarettes, and we'll drink some beer, we'll steal some beer somewhere, or liquor. It started off like that, but the drug use right there for me, like we did cocaine. His dad's table was just full of cocaine, like a bunch of rocks here and there, And then he was outside, and we took a rock, we took off, and we got high. That was that first, actually, the first time I ever did like any kind of hard drugs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You said 9.
I remember it was so good, dude. I was like, I can't feel my face. I was like, my friend Johnny Walker, his name was Johnny. He just go, I can't feel my teeth. He's like punching himself in the teeth. I'm like, okay, this is cool, But it slowly developed, and then I was just a bad seed from there. I grew up with a lot of resentments. My brother's a cop, right? And then my other brother, I got cousins that I work with the DAs, and they're investigators. They all professional. They all work in welders or concrete. Everybody's got their own career there. Like me, I just I wasn't. After that, I think my mom just gave up on me really quick. As far as like trying to talk to me, she never really talked to me. I don't think I let her. I don't think I ever let her.
Do you think that was there any blame going on, or were you blaming anybody for
it? Yeah, it was a lot of resentments. Like my brothers got more than I did, like especially like in Christmas or like. Plus, I wasn't there all the time, man. You know what I mean? And like she saw the route I was going. She saw.
Did any of your brothers go down that same route, or was it just you?
No one's been. One of my they've been in jail for the little things that run like other normal people do. But as far as like, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, no, there's nobody.
Okay. Where do you fall in with your brother? Are you the youngest? Or?
I'm in the middle. There's 5 boys, 1 girl. Yeah.
Wow.
So
it's a lot of boys. 5 boys.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. So. Do you think that? Obviously, you said you were 9. You're 9 years old. So, what is your drug of choice, and what led you there?
My drug of choice was once it was crank when it first came out. I think I was in high school when it first came out, and then I liked that. That was the main one.
I like that.
That was it. Before it came crystal, it was like all this kryptonite shit or whatever, And then we used to smoke it in foil. Dude, I remember the first, because I was already quit. I'm like, I'm gonna quit because I hated the foil. It was fucking me up. And then I went to a friend's house, and he was like, Hey, Miguel, come here. And he's like, show me the little incense thing, right? And then I was in love with that. It started all over again. I was like,
you're talking about the
glass pipes.
Okay, the glass pipes. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, dude, whoever invented that, and then after that, the dope started getting better and better. It was P2P. It was just
So you're around for all the good stuff.
Yeah,
basically.
I saw the whole progression of everything. So I'm still seeing it.
So as far as school and all that, it sounds like you had a little bit of trouble there. Do you think that did you finish school, or did you at what point did you decide I'm not doing this?
I never. So when my mom started finding guns in the house, she moved us out of the east side, and when we moved to Campbell, which is all predominantly white people, and I just stopped going. I just stopped. I didn't, especially when you're already used to the way things are in your box, you know what I mean? And then you go to where all these kids are totally different, and they're all like, I couldn't fit in at all. My brother Alfonso did. My brother Robert did. And I just couldn't. I was always like a loner, like in the things. I'm like, fuck this. It's just whatever. However I could, I'd go back to the east side.
Okay. Yeah. And how far is Campbell from?
It's pretty far. It's probably like it's not that far.
Okay.
It's all in the same county. It's
okay,
all in the
that
same
makes
county.
sense. So, at what age did you guys move out to Campbell?
like in high school, so I must have been like 16, 17.
Okay. So you were just you kept trying to go back there. I can relate to that because I was doing the same thing with Hollister. When they kept trying to move me because I kept getting in trouble just like that. And, that whole factor was kind of like I kept trying to go back because I wanted to get high.
I want to go back to my friends. I want to go back to that lifestyle. That lifestyle was addicting to me. Like that's the thing. Like I had so much fun being a little fucking gangbanger, man. Like I had a lot of fun doing it. We used to, oh my God, dude. Like I don't like sharing a lot of the stuff that, like we did some really crazy stuff, but like I remember we always had money. We were growing weed in the creek. We would break into liquor stores and steal all their cigarettes and stuff. Like we would hit like 4 liquor stores at night, like in the AM, and just take all their cigarettes.
Yeah.
And we always had money. Always had money. It was, I felt, I felt a part of something. You know what I mean? And it got crazy. It was always crazy. It was never like the lifestyle. I already knew what could happen and who I'm hanging out with, what could happen. You know what I mean? And so it was fun. I liked it though.
So it gave you a sense of like almost family, right?
Yeah.
Like a community.
All the fights and all the all the fights, and then sometimes the Southsiders are just right down the street, and you'll hear a bullet go. Zzz. That's why you don't go on the street or the sidewalk. They stay inside they'll shoot at you. Yeah.
Wow, I know that around that area is pretty predominantly Northerners, and there's a lot of Southerners stuff.
There's like little pockets of I live right where Pokaway was at. Okay, that's like the main spot. Like
there's a lot of serious gang homicides that happen out in that area. Salinas and also
Salinas is cracking too. So
was there? So you said how long did it take for you to get like in trouble with the law?
Early. I didn't. Okay. So when I would go back to San Jose, I would stay at my friend Johnny's house. I always had somewhere to go, right, or Jerry's. But I'm gonna say like it was just like I was, a part of this gang. So it's like I didn't want to leave it. I loved it. I loved the gangsta. I was a little cholo back then. Honestly, I was a fucking punk, dude. Like I was bad. And I look back on it, it was just bad. I didn't start getting into trouble until I hit like 19, 20. But before that, it was always the cops stopping us and then beating us up and then letting us go, taking our weed, taking our beer that we were drinking at the park. They'll make us dump it. But I was always lucky on that part. I didn't go to jail till like 21, 22. Like everybody's been to YA or juvenile hall. And I didn't go that route. So I was always hanging out with the older guys. You know what I mean? The older guys is the way you want to, the older homies. But when I started going to jail, that was it. Once I got on probation, it was a wrap. And I was on probation for like 6 years. I was like 24, 25 when I had enough of probation. Like all the lies and all the, like, I just got so tired of it. Like I was we were getting high at the house, right? And like it was across the street from my mom's house. Because we moved back, left Campbell, moved to the north side of San Jose, which is a little bit better. So we go to my friend's house and they have a big long garage where they have boats and trucks inside there, but then on top of the house, and we just got here, high there. And I got there in the morning, it was Sunday, I remember it, because it's just like, and I'm getting high, I gotta go to court. I'm gonna go to jail, this and that. Everybody's walking in, they were like, hey, don't you got court in the morning? What are you doing here? Well, I'm like, yeah, and I'm out quiet. There's 10,000 over here. They're paying cards over here. But like towards the morning, where I had to be at court at 9 in the morning, one of my neighbors, he worked concrete, right? And he came up, he gets his coffee in the morning, but he's smoking shit, and then he goes to work. And he came up with the idea to to dress up like he is. Yeah, so he gave me a helmet. He gave me an orange shirt, and he goes, "Get your shit all dirty," because the court he was actually working right there, right around the corner from the courthouse. And he goes, "Just tell him you got a job," and that worked. And I went to the judge. I had my helmet in there. I goes, "Yeah, I just worked my first day. I'm working right here on Taylor Street." She goes, "Oh, okay, great." But it didn't last long. I already tested dirty, and then I was back into jail. And then we go to court, and they're trying to let me release me, put me back on drug diversion. They want me to go to Salvation Army. They want me to do this. And I'm like, I went in there. I'm like, because I'm just tired of all the lying, like having...
Playing dress up.
Yeah, dude, for the probation officer.
Hey, that's pretty elaborate. I've never done anything like that. That's pretty funny, dude. I like that.
Yeah, dude. And then like I never speak to the judge. I would never say something. It's always your public defender saying shit. And I'm like, I had to say something. I'm like, because when I was in there and I got violated, they're like, dude, just do your straight time. I'm like, you know what? Go leave without probation. So I did 8 months, and I did that for like 5 years, 6 years. I didn't go to prison till I was like 29. Yeah.
That's pretty late in the career, yeah.
And so the first prison term, like it was in Sunnyvale. Yeah. I caught a case in Sunnyvale. Yeah.
So obviously we don't want to put your business on blast, but what was it, drug related? I mean,
everything was always drug related. I stole a lot of cars.
Oh, when you're high. Huh?
Yeah, so I didn't even mention this, but so for like 4 years, I was a tow truck driver.
Oh,
I worked at. It's called the Great American Towing, and their slogan was "Big or small, we tow them all." But I used to say, "Big or small, we fuck them all." Dude, I used to. That's where I started rifling to cars and like taking stereo systems. And it's like, because like the cops would write these 180s, they're called 180s, and they'll put people's property on there. And I always looked at them. Sometimes these fucking asshole cops, they won't put nothing on there. And I'm looking in there, they got laptops, leather jackets. That's the kind of stuff they have to put. And if they don't put nothing on there, it's game. Like,
yeah, it's a free for all.
Yeah,
they're like, well, it's rightfully mine.
And then that's where my drug addiction turned into drug dealing, because that was a perfect front for me.
Yeah.
That was a perfect front, because like you go to accidents and cops are like, hey, moving cones for you, like fucking, you're helping them. I'm like, so I used to like ferry some drugs and then steal cars and move cars for people.
Yeah.
Make my own money, but it had a little side gig going on. But that's what happened with that. That's how I got into like breaking into cars, dude. Like there's a lot of stuff, and people leave stuff in cars. Like my car, I don't leave nothing, not even a cord. But yeah, that's where my criminal activity, that stealing cars was easy for me.
Yeah. Is that what you got first busted for?
Yeah, I was driving without. There was the other stuff. They found my fingerprints in another car. And it was actually a cop. It was it was a Sunnyvale cop's wife's car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so my fingerprints were in there, and I was in there for like 9 months for that case. I ended up getting 16 months for that, but that was my first prison term.
Okay. Yeah. So when you went to prison, was there any point where you're like, oh, maybe I should change my life?
Not to the second term.
Second term.
Second.
Okay.
That's when all that stuff was kicking off in San Quentin with the whites and the blacks with the Norteños. And it was a bad time. I went in there at a bad time. And then like I was like, oh hell no. Like once they clear you in there, they check your paperwork. Right when they cleared me, they sent my paperwork back. Okay, all right, whatever. You're cleared. And then the next day I get a weapon sent to my room. Like I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's when it got real for me. Like and then I'm like, no, this ain't me. This ain't fucking me. When I left prison that time, it was like 2003, I think it was. 2003, around that time. I straight went to NAAA for 3 years. I was clean. I did well. I prospered. I got a job. I got a roommate. It was good until I met my wife, and then she drank and smoked pot. And, if you're gonna be with somebody, eventually I started drinking and smoking pot.
Yeah.
And plus, I was a liquor manager at Safeway, so I had these vendors giving me all this expensive stuff. So I had a wet bar in my apartment, so I drank a lot. Yeah, I started. So I wasn't. So for those first 3 years, I was good, and then for the next 10 years, I was with Michelle. 10 years with Michelle. I was drinking, smoking pot, and then here and there doing coke.
And where were you living around that time?
I was living in Cupertino.
Cupertino, okay.
Yeah, right down the street from Apple. That was a nice area. Cupertino's the nice area of St. Clair County. Like Campbell, West Campbell, Cupertino. Nice.
So your first time, it sounds like when you got out of prison, that's when you started. You introduced yourself to NAAA. How did that come about? Did you just naturally know?
No, when I got out, one of my friends, he's still my best friend, my friend Shane, man. He that day I got out, he picked me up and took me to an NA meeting.
So he knew.
Yeah.
Was he also in recovery?
He was in recovery too.
Okay.
He had went to jail, and he was a cool ass white, but he was like a little ginger kid, but he was a cool. He was like he knew dude. He was cool. Motherfucker had hands and feet, dude. He could fight too. And he was a cool ass motherfucker, man. We stayed best friends forever, dude. We were still friends. We were on Facebook. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, besides getting with somebody that's smoking and drinking, obviously that's a red flag. But where do you think that you went off course that go around?
When they, honestly, it was when the babies were born. We were fine we were married and had no kids, but when the babies came around, the financial part of everything came. It was bad. It was like San Jose is already expensive, to live, and then with two twin boys, we struggled, dude, like so bad. Yeah, we struggled a lot of fighting. I remember I left one time and grabbed all my clothes and left to my aunt's house. She lived in Cupertino at that time, and I stayed there for a couple of days, and then the in-laws got involved, and you got to go back.
So were you drinking actively at this time?
Yeah, we were drinking.
Okay.
We were drinking. I was drinking.
Okay. Do you remember that relapse of where you decided to start drinking?
It was I always drank, but the relapse with methamphetamine, because I was only do coke because I'm like, with coke, methamphetamines, I did not want to do meth. Cocaine, I could, control it somewhat, but that's how I felt. But so I didn't, buy, big quantities of cocaine, you know what I mean? And once I started doing meth, because I had a lot of resentments, it went out of control. I hid it from her for like a year and a half.
So you were able to hide.
Yeah, I hid it from
drug
her
use for a year and a half.
I left to a year and a half.
That's crazy.
I left the town for a work thing. All managers had to go to this convention or whatever in LA. So I drove over there, and she found one of my baggies there. And, it even got worse after that. So, yeah,
Never better.
no. She works at an in-home care. She has and I kept telling her, no man, I had that stuck on my shoe. I probably walked in here and this and that. I had all kinds of excuses, right? and so she comes back the next day. She brings back drug tests. She goes, here, piss in this. I'm like, oh fuck. And I pissed in it and it came back positive. And I'm like, see? All the stories. I should have been honest, you know what I mean? I should have totally been honest with her. Because I made up all these stories. I just made myself look really bad.
So I can't believe you got away with it for a year and a half, though. I mean, Do you think because she was drinking, or was she bad?
No,
like
she was
heavy?
not bad. She
Okay.
smoked pot, and then she'll drink here and there. But you know, I was always drink beer a lot, and then on the unders, I'll be hitting the pipe in the bathroom with the kids around and shit.
Wow, I'm just surprised you were able to get away with it for so long. Right? Yeah, that's. But yeah, it makes sense though. If somebody's smoking and kind of drinking here and there, they're not. Their faculties are. If she was sober, I'm sure she would have probably noticed it really easy.
I never like really was like I hit it pretty good. I wasn't like I know I go to meetings and I hear stories of guys how they hit it, and then they just get into stupid shit. I wasn't stealing shit. I wasn't jacking off or fucking. I wasn't watching porn. I wasn't doing this. I used it more like coffee every morning, you know. And then I was like a manager at Sprouts, so I couldn't do it there. So it was always I left it in the car, and I'll go to the gas station, smoke it in the bathroom, and then go back to work, take a couple hits.
I'm on my lunch break.
Yeah. I'll go in the car, grab it out, and go in there.
15-minute break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could never do that.
And I did that for a long time, man. And then like I just used all the resentments, all the fighting as a reasons to do that. And it wasn't that, she found out, and then like we divorced like a couple years later. And then I had a lot more resentments there, and it got bad. And I moved out here.
Okay, so how long ago was that when you moved out here?
2018.
2018. Okay.
And when I came over here, it was good. It was cool. But I was doing Uber. I was doing DoorDash. I was working at Target and Smart and Final. Got my, I was working hard. I was sober for like a good 8 or 9 months until I met the wrong person. Eventually, I started getting high.
What was the deciding factor on your divorce? Who made that decision?
Oh, she did. I was fighting. I didn't want to divorce it, but it was a hard hitting thing to go through, man. Like to lose your family. Like right when she separated me, 30 days after that, she was leaving. She was not coming home. And then when your wife's not coming home, man, you're there with the kids, and like it eats you bad. Like there's this feeling I was getting. Like it was really bad. I was like,
what kind of feelings?
I wanted to kill her. I was actually planning it in my head, Dave.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna tie her up, and I'm gonna threaten the kids so I can like. She tells me where he lives, so I can bring his head over here and fucking losing that. And then I'm gonna kill her, and then I'm gonna take the kids to Wendy's and call the cops on myself. All that I planned out. Had it all planned out.
Where were we gonna put the body?
I was gonna leave him there, dude. Like the apartment. Here's your boyfriend's head. I had the tomahawks. I had all kinds of stuff ready inside my trunk of the car. Yeah. And then my brother I told my brother what the way I was thinking. He goes, oh, "You gotta go. You're fucking leaving, dude. You're going. You're
some Jeffrey Dahmer shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
I then went to my aunt's. And
I'm gonna put the head in the freezer if you don't mind. I'm gonna need some freezer space.
I had to go, man. I never shared. I shared that one once before, but and I had a lot of anxiety. Oh my god, these guys. I don't know if it's anxiety. It was just like this. Even when I was moved out to Auburn, this is why I got back. I kind of was gravitating to the tweaker chicks. I already know that, even though I know I got with the wrong person, I knew she was getting high. I knew it. And the whole time, like when I was going through all that, like I had these anxieties, these feelings. I still had them after I was moved over here, like bad. I would still call her, or I was trying to talk to her. She'll call me and fuck with me, like it was this
sounds toxic.
Yeah, I needed something, and then I would stay at the Speedway in Auburn, and just doing Uber or DoorDash and that, because I knew that spot. That's where everybody's fucking. You could see people doing shit, and that's pretty much where it all started for me, right there. That speedway right there in Auburn, right there by the police.
So you moved to Auburn first before you came to Grass Valley. Okay, yeah, I can. I lived out there for 4 years, and then I relapsed out there, and then ended up coming here. So I'm very, very familiar with the jumping of towns close to each other, and it's mostly. Am I assuming you came out to rehab here?
No, I went to rehab in Coloma.
Coloma.
Okay. Progress House.
Okay, so was that the last time, your last go around when you hit Coloma?
Yeah, that was the last time. Basically, I was doing the same stuff that I was doing in San Jose, except for the gang shit. But I was doing it here.
So you went from Coloma, from the Progress House
to Granite
Wells Tea House.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like door to door, so I still had time to do. So they let me do the 6 months inside the program.
Oh, so you did 6 months inside?
No, I did. Well, with all the packets I was doing in South Placer, I got like 40 days off my sentence. So I did like almost 7 months, 7 or 8 months almost.
Okay.
Because I was already in there for like after 30 days, I was ready to just like to get shit going. And I actually thought they were gonna send me to prison, but then they don't do that no more for nonviolent stuff. So they sentenced me to, because when they gave me 18 months, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna go back to prison. Let's just do it. Let's get it out the way. But no, with all counting time, I'm like, shit.
So from start to finish, last time in Coloma, how long did you stay in that stint? How much were you in? How long were you?
I was there 90 days, and then the rest of the 90 days here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
for my very first rehab, I would always say no to rehab or.
So you did one and done?
No.
Holy shit!
First
A
time.
unicorn.
I was done. I'm like, let's go to rehab, man. Like, because my drug addiction here, dude, I never thought I'd be shooting up, dude. I was shooting up, man. Like, it sounds like I never did that.
So you did that at what age? Or what you started shooting up
40,
at?
48.
Wow.
No, wait. 49.
Holy shit. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a late bloomer on the shooting up part.
Yeah, and it didn't last. Honestly, it didn't last that long. It was like a month and a half.
That's all it takes.
So I would do it like once a day, and then some people do that shit more than once a day.
Oh yeah.
And
did you progress?
It was. Thank God I got remanded, because it was progressing into something. I was doing everything. DMT. I was doing shrooms. We were doing Molly. We were doing meth. We were doing coke. Alcohol was in the mix. There was everything. And then I remember I used to go to my doctor's appointments and my blood pressure would be 180, but they kept giving me more pills. I'm like, I should have just told him, dude, I'm high. You know what I mean?
I'm on shrooms.
I just smoked some dope right before I came here. Of course, my blood sugar, my blood pressure is going to be way high. Man.
They're like, you need to really
but I
stop smoking cigarettes.
Right away, my fingertips were peeling. And
oh, shit.
It was just like right away. It started right, and then it was like, it was bad.
And you were driving Uber? That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, when I was doing Uber, I was sober. I can tell you that right now. I was drinking though, but I wasn't drinking on driving.
That much,
right?
But so I stopped that because it was just too much. I went through 3 cars, man. Like I came over here with 2 cars, and I lost them really quick. You know, I got in an accident and shit, but none of them my fault. I got. I hit something on the road. And my tire came off, and I almost died there. And then
shit!
In Newcastle, I was driving. I was doing DoorDash. No, I finished doing DoorDash. Dropped off some Little Caesar pizza, and then I'm coming back to town to start doing Uber, right? And then I'm driving, and then somebody from the lane in Newcastle, I forgot what road it was on, just hit me head on. Lost my car.
So you managed to escape all this without any serious injury?
No, I had surgery.
So you did get some injuries.
I got concussion. I was in the hospital for like 2 days.
Cool. Then
I got the good thing about that. I got 175 out of that settlement. And
Oh,
nice.
nice.
That got me another car, but like I was stressing because like I just barely moved in my apartment, and that's when I started getting high. I was like, dude, I told the girl that I was seeing, well, I want some shit. I go, I just want a little bit. I don't want to get high. She came and brought me an 8-ball, dude. I'm like, what the fuck are you bringing me? I didn't have a pipe. I'm like, I'm not gonna get a pipe because I'm gonna get addicted. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. And I just had plates with meth, and I was just doing lines, and then taking off to the other
the pipe. The pipe secures it. I can't do that.
I can't do the pipe. Yeah, right. That's
commitment.
That's my thinking. You know.
Snorting it is,
It's not even a big deal.
And then, and then after, I'm like, you know what? Fuck, dude. I'm just gonna go get a fucking
oil burner.
incense burner.
Man, yeah, you have to say
they're 2 for $10 over there in Auburn, man. I'm like 2 for $10. They got a little flour in it.
That's a deal.
Yeah, it's a deal. Yeah, 2 for $10.
You can smoke your meth for only.
That's such a
I
deal.
started smoking. It was a wrap after that, and then it was not long until I started doing some straight. My daughter helped me out right before I started getting high when I had no car. I was off of work anyway, and my daughter comes out. I was fucked up in the head. I was calling my ex-wife, like trying to talk to her, but she's already moved in with this dude. Like, she calls my brother up. My brother calls me, stop calling her. And then my daughter comes, and then she helps me out. Like, that's where I snapped out. Actually, I snapped out of the way I was thinking about how I needed to take responsibility. I needed to stop acting the way I was. I had so much emotions with that. I let that shit go. I had to take responsibility for even though she was the cause of a lot of it, I didn't have to act like that. I was really emotional.
And you're high during all this, right?
On
All these calls.
No, this is right after. This is before that accident. So I didn't start really. I was getting high, okay, but I didn't start really getting high until like after I decided to just change my shit. But I know it sounds kind of weird, but like my daughter came in, she helped me. I didn't even know because I was doing Uber, and she told me about Uber fare, and then dude, I got a car that week. I went to San Francisco, got a car, a Nissan Spectra, a little 4-door car, just to do Uber. And I got that car right when COVID started, so I didn't, so I didn't do Uber that much after that. It was like I got that car for free for a whole year.
Wow.
And within that whole year, I got the settlement. I bought I bought a nicer car,
Yeah.
And after everything was said and done with that money, man, I only got $33,000 out of that because like child support was paid, taxes, and then fucking the lawyers, of course.
Well, now you're settled up, though, right?
I settled up. I was like waiting for that,
Right.
but I was already in my addiction on that part. It was a wrap.
Okay.
It was bad.
Thinking you got 175 grand. Not thinking you're only going to get 35.
Yeah, I got 33,000 out of that. I'm like, what the fuck? But I owe a lot of back arrears of child support. I told him to take it all. I go, just take it. There's enough for me to get some.
Yeah, that's probably the best move to do.
Yeah.
Because that's
Absolutely.
that and what is it? Student loans are the only two things you can't really get out of. So. Yeah, it's important to settle up that. When I settled up mine, it was a big relief.
She actually did me a good. She knew what I was going through. I remember I owed more than what I paid, and she was okay. Like, you're never gonna pay this amount. Just give me fucking the 30,000. That's it. Like, fucking, and then boom, she fucking settled it right there.
Yeah, that's the thing with that whole scenario. It's like if you're for people out there that are dealing with child support,
It's bad.
yeah, it can get rough.
Struggle.
But if you're in good, like me and my ex-wife, we didn't get along at all during the marriage or even any of our intimacy. None of it. Like we're better friends now than we ever were now that we're both sober and not together.
Yep.
So we did the same thing, right? She was able to she was able to expunge like 7,000 of it, and she, you know, the blessing behind that, like it's totally doable to get to a point where you can fix relationships in your life.
It's hard, dude. Like, so when I had gotten temporary like custody of my kids for a while during COVID, and and my ex-wife thought I was gonna go after her, like she went after me, right? 'Cause she tried to destroy me in court.
Mm.
She wanted everything, and I had nothing. You know what I mean? And I didn't do that with her. Probably I'm gonna say that's probably why we get along. We get along great. She don't get. She's got the kids in Florida. She don't no child support. I mean, I give her money when I get my fast money. And I always give her money. So I'm giving her more money when it comes up. You know, kids are starting junior high, and the junior high that they're going to is like a private school. It's not a Christian, but it's a private school where they all have to have certain uniforms and then no backpacks. They have to have certain briefcases. And everybody has laptops, and she has to pay a lot of money for the uniforms and all that. So I gotta help her.
So it sounds like you, especially now in your recovery, it sounds like you guys got a pretty good relationship.
She was my biggest advocate when I was in jail. That, you know, earlier I mentioned about honesty, man. Like, honestly, before I went to jail, I told her, she didn't know I was fighting this case. I need to tell her. I need to tell her that I can't have these kids here no more, man. Like, it's bad. I was putting my kids in a lot of danger. I was even doing shit with my kids, like criminal shit with my kids. Mm. And I told her, I didn't tell her. She came back from Florida with the kids that summer, and that summer everything went crazy. It was actually right when I started shooting up. She came back, right? And then she goes, okay, there's no food at my house, and fucking, I'm gonna take the kids. I'm like, because I was getting like $600-700 in EBT, and there was like $300 left on right here. Yeah, so I'm gonna go buy it. So when there was this dope I was looking for a bag of dope. I couldn't find it. I thought I dropped it somewhere, but when she came home, she sat right in front, like got out the car, like, oh my, how am I getting? I opened up my wallet, poof, there goes my dope. Right in front of her, she's like,
"Oh my God,
we need to talk." She was like that. She goes, "We need to talk." And
sounds like it.
I told her everything, man. I didn't tell her about this. I just told her that, you know, fucking, I need to. And she knew it was all my friends because she would come to my house and see all these fucking chicks over and these dudes over, and she knew it was like she already knew that I was fucking. She never gave me shit about it, but it was she was my biggest advocate, man. She took care of me when I was in jail. Yeah, she took care of me when I was in jail.
So she moved to Florida, brought the kids.
Uh-huh.
And how long has it been since you've seen the kids?
Since December 3rd when I got remanded. I seen them that day.
Okay.
The day before I had to go to court. So it's been almost 2 years.
I know you've got a plan.
Yeah, next month I'm gonna go see them.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll go see them. Nice. I told her not to tell the kids anything. I'm just gonna drop in and out. But I gotta go see them. She keeps telling me, goes, yeah, Luke's really, really changing, and they're still happy kids. We talk. They don't give me no shit, but she goes, dude, these guys are fucking. Luke's already got hair in his armpit and shit. Like they're 12. They're fucking 12, and then their voices are deeper.
Starting to crack randomly.
And then I talked to him yesterday morning. I talked to Luke, and he was like kind of tired. He goes, yeah, we've been up all night. Video games. They had this challenge or whatever that. Like all of them would get on TeamSpeak, and they're all playing video games. And school's starting up, so they're trying to get that out the way. She takes all the video games away.
So it sounds like you've really created a positive relationship with not only your ex, but now you can be there for your kid, and especially in this whole recovery process. The importance of that is uncanny, man. Because
the best thing anybody can do in this situation now, I mean, is what I'm doing now, what we're doing now, working on yourself and recovery and all that. And
So you mentioned FAFSA. So now that you got some clean time, what are you doing to maintain that and progress with the rest of your life?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I am so grateful right now. Everything like I can't like I'm doing a lot of the floor, but like I'm so grateful for all the help I got. FAFSA, Dave, Granite Wellness, the county, even probation's awesome here. I'm so grateful. Like this is a time in my life where a lot of things are changing, and this is a path I've never taken before, which is with school. And and it was something I hated when I was younger. I fucking love it, dude. I love it, and that's my goal is to keep my school going, because this education, this route I'm taking, I'm eventually gonna leave California. I want to go to my kids in Florida, and build those boys into men. You know what I mean? Like that's my goal. That's what I want to do. That's why now my life of gratitude. Like I don't do anything, man, in my life that hinders my progress. Like I see people make bad decisions and then things start closing on them, man. It happens so quick, and I don't want to lose nothing I have, man. Like I'm real stable right now. I'm good. I I just love my life right now. Like, and then I'm changing. I'm like, when I'm out there working or whatever, like I'm able to see how people are. This program, the steps, everything, it helps me navigate through with communication with people. You know what I mean? Like, especially emotionally, spiritually, all that. Like I just I see how people are. There's this totally different characters around us, different personalities and everything. And I know from this program, I know who to stay away from, what conversation I shouldn't have with people, or what places I should go and what not to do. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like working these steps, I see that. And then not only that, they talk about the spiritual principles of the willingness, the humility, the honesty. That part right there is one of is really important with me, especially the spiritual part. I don't go to church and everything, but you know what? He's every single thing that I've been getting is from his design or his will. You know what I mean? Like I truly believe it, because I had so many God shots and so many good things happen to me, and like as long as I follow like what my values, the values that I have set for myself right now, as long as I keep following those, I'll be fine, man. That's it. Like, and then with school, school's a really good support group. I like it, man.
So what are you trying to achieve with school?
I'm taking welding right now, and okay. I've been talking to my counselor about that. So I'm going for a cert, but then I can actually get a degree, and in my associates, I'm like a year away from associates. And a degree will take another year, so it's like 2 years. But I'll be getting my associates and the prerequisites and all that. Mm-hmm. So I'll be here for a while longer, at least 2 or 3 more years before I move to Florida. So, but till then, I'm just gonna keep working on myself, doing a lot of bunch of stuff never did before. You know what I mean? Like
getting certified.
Yeah, like and then like school. Like I almost the first semester I almost quit. Because I suck at computers, man. All I know how to do is take them apart and steal them. That's it. And that's the only thing I was good at. And now I'm like, fucking, I got I got screen here, screen there, screen up on top. I'm like, I'm going in a different way. I'm like I got it now.
It's a learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and then like now I have this new thing that I'm doing. I'm like, fuck, this is fucking cool, man. This is what normal people do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, it's just it's cool, man.
There's a path ahead of you. You can,
yeah,
I
I can see it. Yeah, I see it. I see where I'm going, man. I can see, and I see it. I recognize it. I embrace it. There's no stopping me right now. And plus, there's a goal to that end. It's to my kids. You know what I mean? I don't like Florida. I lived there for 2 years, and I don't want to stay over. I just want to. I made a promise to my kids that I'll go over there and not, because they're supposed to come with me for 3 years after her 3 years. That's how we did it in court. And I told her, no, I'm not gonna. They're doing good over there, man. I'm not gonna, even though I might be doing good over here, I think because she was awesome. And then we talk, and then I think me and her. I know I grew up a lot, and she has too, and she doesn't do the same. We're just like best friends now. It's just awesome. And, she calls me when there's something wrong with the kids, or they're misbehaving, or Luke got beat up by a girl in Taekwondo. He wants to talk to you. I'm like, she beat me up. She beat me up, and I thought she liked me. I'm like, dude, it's a tournament, dude. It's a tournament. Like, you gotta fight. It's like,
that's cute.
She slapped me on the ground, and I don't like her no more. I'm like,
oh, that's
dude, you should have fucking you whipped her. Like, he got beat up, and he was like, "What's going?" Like, he's like, he didn't. I guess he didn't get the concept of a tournament or like a sparring thing, like, dude, you gotta. There's a winner and a loser. You gotta be either one of them,
Yeah.
So
that whole aspect of you get to do stuff in recovery now that you weren't able to do beforehand. I mean,
I always want to go to school, man.
Just the possibility factor when you're using, that's not a thing.
Yeah,
it's so, our world is so small, and you don't have that future and that set path. Everything just is doom and gloom. That aspect of having a plan now, that's some badass shit.
The getting and using and finding ways and means to get more, right? We used to live and live to use. Getting out of that, into a different life, the life you're living today. Where do you see yourself in a year from now? Where do you see yourself in 2 years from now? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself. Honestly, I don't want to say I think about the future a lot, but honestly, from what my goals are right now, is to. I see myself. I've talked about it in my meetings when I share. Like, I see myself having my own place, having a nice relationship with somebody, and still going to school and trying to meet all my goals and just being happy. I see myself being happy. I'm happy now. I'm comfortable with the way things are going right now, and but I'm lonely too. So I want a mate. You know what I mean? I'm
Well, you got a cat now.
I got a cat. Yeah, I got a pussy cat. I know. I gotta go feed that cat.
Hell yeah. Hey, I love cats, dude. They're low maintenance.
Right?
They barely like you.
Yeah.
They're like,
this guy gets me all the
His
time,
cat
man.
bites him.
they're on.
He'll look at me and then he'll go to the table. What the fuck you doing, dude?
Yeah, my wife came home with the cat, and her name was Pixie, and I'm like, I'm changing it. No, we still call her Pixie. I couldn't do that to her. I ain't gonna call her something else. You know what I mean? And oh my, she was so skittish, and I'm like, fuck this cat, dude. I'm like, this cat's lame, dude. I don't like cats. I like dogs. Man, that cat fucking loves the shit out of me, dude. It doesn't treat. I mean, it follows me everywhere in the house as soon as I come home. Doesn't do that with anyone else, dude. And she just anywhere I go, she's running under my feet. She's like just happy I'm awake, dude. I'm just like, dude.
That's what I was telling Dave. Once I get up, he's just like right in my feet, man. Just like, I'm like, get out of the way.
It's funny, dude. Yeah, but I was like, I'm not pro cat before that. You know, I mean, I could pet them, and as long as they weren't mine, I was okay with it. But that whole aspect, I mean, that cat fucking just bites my back of my legs when I don't give it attention.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Same thing with me. Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah, exactly. And then bites him and runs away.
Yeah, it's hella funny.
And then the guy, they're crazy. My cat doesn't like me to pick him up. Like when I pick him up, I have to pick him up a certain way. And if I don't like pick him up like that, which is comfortable for him, dude, he will fucking just try to get out of it. Fucking, he's got me like in my neck one time, and he doesn't. So I gotta pick him up slowly, and then he'll just look at me. Okay.
Yeah, they got to get super comfortable. Once they get comfortable with you, man, there's that cats are pretty dope like that.
It took mine a couple of years.
Yeah. Once they get comfortable, you'll be able to pick them up a lot. Because my cat was not doing that. It would attack me damn near if I would try to pick it up. But now if I pick it up and give it some love, eventually if you hold it too long, it'll start trying to get away. But give it the love, the amount of time and then you put it down.
It's funny because cats help teach us how to have relationships, right? And be patient, tolerant.
They're much like women.
Yeah,
right.
Don't bother me.
Just shoot it with a spray bottle when it's not acting right.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He'll get on my desk. I got a desk, and I'm like working on there, and he'll get on there, and he'll be looking at me for a while, and then if I don't pay attention, he just knocks shit off. He'll knock my phone off. He'll get it, knock it off. My water bottle. And so and then my vape. Oh my God, he tries to. You see him going this. He'll be hitting it, trying to knock it down to get my attention. He'll look at me and just sweep shit right off the desk and shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Training you to be a husband, dude.
Yeah.
He's
the cat's in control.
The control, yeah. That cat's crazy. I open the closet door and he fucking runs in there and I can't get him out.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Well, the whole recovery piece, man, and where you've come and how far you've come. I mean, 2 years is a long time for somebody that's still using, right? And it's important that we celebrate stuff like that because 2 years is a big deal, man. 2 years is a big deal. I mean, 2 days is a big deal, especially when you just get done using and you're trying to change your life. 2 days is a big deal. That's why when you get that 24-hour chip, it's important, right? You got to make a big deal about it. Because I went most of my life just thinking nothing mattered and everything was horse shit, and now getting into my life where I'm trying to do better and be a better person, that negative mindset doesn't coincide with being a good person. And I had to realize that it's I have to celebrate these things. I have to be excited. I can't shut people down for being excited. That's a person who I was, just a very negative person. And I realized you can't combine the two. The whole gratefulness, you can't be a good person with having that gratefulness involved, right? Because as soon as I stop being grateful, it's a wrap, man. I start treating my girl like shit. I just do out of pocket stuff, and I start getting paranoid. My wife knows it, because I'll start talking about, oh yeah, why don't you call Sancho? She's like, where the fuck did that come from? I go, I don't know. She knows. She's like, hey, just relax, eat something, But that's the person I become. I'm just all of a sudden paranoid. Who you with, or just. My wife goes, where the fuck did that come from? I don't know. I'm just sorry.
Sancho.
Yeah. And she only knows that because she's like, what does that mean? And I was like, you don't know what that means? And she's like, well, in my previous relationship, because they were tight knit and they lived all in the same house, it was a big house, right? And he had a kid with her. But the grandpa used to always say that to his wife. He goes, oh, Sancho, and she never knew what the fuck it meant. And then I was like, it's another dude. Like, it's the Mexican style of just saying, you know, Sancho, the dude on the side.
You're a spare and a pair. your backup plan.
And she just started dying of laughter. She said, that's what he was saying, all those. And he's a white guy, too. So to hear something, you know, Sancho and all that shit, it was funny to hear her say it. So when I say stupid shit like that, she's just like, whatever, dude, you probably need to rest. You know, so she just reminds me, like, that's a huge part, is just reminding me, hey, you need to rest. You've been working 70 hours this week. You need to slow down, take a rest, because then I start getting paranoid. Over anything. I start looking at my cameras a little bit more at my home, you know what I mean? Like, every time I step out of my truck, I'm thinking, you know, the neighbors, the dog's gonna be there, so I start playing these things. I'm gonna have to kill that dog and stab that dog out a Bowie knife, you know, like, let's do this, you know. Those are those thoughts that are just unmanageable when I stop being grateful, stop taking care of my immediate needs as far as rest, food, all those things, and depending on what I put in my body, if I'm just putting a bunch of crap in it, it starts reflecting in my reality, right? And for me, it's just a pure paranoia. Fears.
I got a lot of the fear part. You know, we're all fucking human, man. You know, and we all have these fears. We all have these emotions and stuff. Sometimes just like you said, paranoia, but mine's just the fear of you know. The other day, I was like inside my room, and like a friend of ours had a stroke, right? And I'm like in my room, like, damn, I got a heart attack in here. Nobody's gonna like the fears of me just like they when they settle in, those fears it starts spreading into other fears. I'm like, okay, we're good. And I deal with that shit a lot. Like, I don't know why I have so many fears that I deal with. I have, like, these are my shortcomings. These are my defects of character. That, you know, it's fears and just fear of failing. I mean, but, you know, at the same time, failing's all a part of being successful too. You know, but I'm always just like fearing. Okay, what's gonna happen? What's next? And sometimes they fester in my head a lot. You know, these thoughts. It's like, because even and then they'll get so bad, because that's why I remember I heard in a meeting somebody said that words have value, but you know, even that negative self talk that you do to yourself, man, that those have value too. If you know, so it hasn't been happening to me lately, but like every time I do something when I'm into getting something, I'm like always trying to plan ahead of it. You know what I mean? Like, just don't get into my head. Put too much on my plate right now.
Yeah. So
those fears can knock you off the horse.
Yeah.
Right? It's not how many times you get knocked off the horse; it's how many times you get back on it.
Yeah.
So, what tools are you utilizing to walk through the fears?
Right now, I'm praying, man. I'm praying. I pray, like even when when I'm feeling that way, I pray, and I'll get busy doing something else. You know, I try not to let that fester and start. So lately, I've been pretty good at it. I think a month and a half ago, I think I shared in the men's meeting. Like, dude, I'm like, these fears, man. They're just like, I'm like just creating shit in my head that's like not there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know why. Sometimes I would do that, and it happened when I first moved into my apartment. Like, dude, I already got everything. I'm doing better. Like, and I'm causing all these little conspiracy theories, I call them, in my head. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. Like, if I keep talking about it, it's gonna manifest into it, bro. I gotta stop. You know what I mean? Like, but I think the spiritual part of it too, like of the praying and everything. It's the key, man. You know, for me, it's the key. I've been doing it. Um, you know, so and then like sometimes like I think I shared. I never shared it. I don't think I shared it in our men's meeting, but the spiritual part, like the stuff we can't see. You know what I mean? For some reason, all through my life, I've had dealings with not all through my life, but like going to recovery. I had a lot of. We all have these demons, right? And they're always there. Like I heard it today in a meeting. They're always there doing push-ups and getting ready to come back. But mine, they it's been happening. It just little subtle things that happen in my life in my little room, and I noticed that they're still there. And they don't have to be the inside kind of feelings, I mean, they're outside too, and so they're always there waiting.
I heard in early recovery that those fears are designated that we're having lack of faith. And it's funny you mentioned that your solution is to get into prayer.
Yeah.
What happens to those fears while you're praying?
They go away.
What a concept.
What a concept. What a concept. Yeah.
So that's where the spiritual aspect of it.
Like sometimes, like this happened a couple of times this week. Like I get out the shower, the cat's on it. I got a chair.
You're scared of the cat.
The cat's just watching me get ready. I got out the shower and I grab the speaker off my shower and I put it back in that room. And then it happened a couple of times, Dave. Like I'm it's crazy. Like the cat's there, and the music's pretty loud, but I'll hear on the door, and I'm opening it. And there's nobody there. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, there's no way that somebody in less than a second could dodge behind a table, or the next room, whatever. And I didn't think nothing of it, and then it happened again. Like the other night, the cat was on the chair, and then I heard it, but it wasn't. I didn't get to the door as fast. I looked at the cat, and he looked at the door because he heard boom, boom, and the music was on, and there was nobody there again. And then there was actually nobody home. There was nobody home. Everybody's gone.
Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the house talking to you.
Maybe.
House.
Well, I wanted to touch on that whole fear aspect. I think that what you said was important, right? The whole lack of faith and things like that. But also the reality of fear is it gives you a good chance to practice courage. You know what I mean? So when you do things because even though you're frightened, you reach a point where you call into action. And what courage does, right? It helps you execute things even though you're frightened, right? So what that does, it's all a confidence game, right? So when you get to a point to where you start executing things and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad, you start being able to get over those feelings of fear. And even though it's real and still comes up, you're able to execute some courage, right? When that's possible, that confidence level, it rises when you start coming up with these certain situations, especially in recovery. It's important that not all fear is bad. I mean, a lot of the fear keeps us alive.
Healthy fears.
Yeah, there's healthy fears.
I had my first semester where I almost that wasn't just a tech part. It was like schools was nothing like high school or junior high. Nothing like that. You gotta get up to classes and do your presentations. I'm like, I had a public speaking class, and I fucking failed it the first semester, but I passed it the next semester, and it was there. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta do this shit. I gotta fucking get up there. I got so comfortable doing it that by the last one, I had a shirt that I used to take the kids Halloween with. Superman with a cape on it, and I had my jacket on. I went in there, I took it off. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do that. It was a PowerPoint. It was perfect, and I passed the class, man. But that fear, that courage, I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking grown ass man. I'm gonna fucking just fucking suck it up and just fucking go through it. I mean, like, I didn't stutter, didn't say no ums, because you have to follow a format, like,
I saw the video of that. You did a good job. Yeah.
So wait, there's a video of this,
Him doing his
and there's a Superman.
No, I didn't do it. No,
Okay.
There's like 5 speeches you got.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's an informative intro.
I'm like, I want to see this shit.
Persuasive, and then there's I forgot the other 2.
Kent.
Yeah, dude, that fuck. He's all.
Yeah,
takes
because
off
I brought the Superman shirt because like she would, you go to class where she's talking to you how to develop your skills as a public speaker, and they were showing us TED Talks, and this girl put up, you got to be Superman, you know what I mean? And she put Superman up there. And I'm like, oh shit, I got a Superman shirt. So I want to, because that's how you get, the point of doing that in the beginning is to get people's attention so they can listen.
Okay.
That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get an attention grabber. Good. So I'm learning all that stuff.
Yeah, dude. Well, man. That's important stuff, man, because it's only gonna help you in tough situations, right? And that whole fear aspect, when we lean on that and we start looking at it differently, be like, okay, here's my chance to really develop my character. My buddy texted me the other day. He's going through a real tough time, right? And I'm like, this is what we train for. And then he kind of laughed at it. He's like, fuck, you're right. And I'm like, this is what we train for. Because it's super easy to kill it when things are going good, dude. Really easy. But when that storm comes, that's what we train for, those hard times, right? And now he's able to, goes, fuck, you're right. This is what we train for. And then randomly I text him, hey, how you doing? He's like, fuck, this is what we train for. So, and then he gave me the lowdown of how he's making the audibles and the adjustments, because he was just in a real relationship for like 4 or 5 years, and now that's changed on him upside down, and it sounds like this girl's relapse. I'm not sure. I don't want to. It's not open for my speculation. That's not the point here. My job in this whole situation is just try to be there for my buddy, right? And he came visiting, and I'm like, man, this is what we train for. Like, I hate to say it like that, but like this whole process of life, we are not able to do it sober when we first started, and I wasn't able to get through anything without some sort of buffer, meaning alcohol, drugs. So this spiritual way of life that we're living today is allowing me to be able to go through this, and this is what I'm training for, because I couldn't have handled that when I was out there running amok. Everything was just amplified. I mean, the more you felt sorry for me, the better, because I can try to talk you out of something. So. But being able to get through what he's going through, right, and understanding, hey, dude, this is what we train for. This is what all that spiritual talk is, all those meetings and all those helping other fellas in recovery. This is what we're training for, because now he has that support group that's reaching out to him, right, because that's what it's all about. Yeah, it's super easy to fucking kill it when everything is going good, but when those tough times come and that fear sets in, those are those key moments of character development. Every movie I've ever watched, every book I've ever read, it's all character development, and in the end it makes sense. Like all these events that I thought were oh my god, I can't believe this is happening to me, I lost this girl, and I'm like, dude, no, that was for you. It didn't happen to you, it happened for you. Because if I was with all these chicks that I was with in the past, I'd be in a bad way still, and it wasn't them, it was me, right? So everything happened in my life with my higher power and people in my life. It happened for me. It didn't happen to me. So that's the important part, the whole important piece. It's like, yeah, you're going through some tough stuff, but it's going to be for a reason, right? I've never not had a situation to where that come out in the end and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm glad it happened, because now I have a beautiful daughter. If everything didn't go the way it did, I wouldn't have had that daughter. It's just how that works. It's just the science of chance. It deters you a whole different way, right? There's so many situations that I should have been down that I just wasn't, because it's a matter of seconds, right? So that's an important piece to kind of amplify that.
Everything is really about continuous development, and a lot of people don't understand the real power of step work if you're utilizing it correctly, especially with fear. For instance, a 10th step, right? Your daily inventory. You talked about having a friend that had a stroke, and that brought up some fears for you. So with a 10th step inventory, taking those fears, which are only bad if you let them consume you, putting them down on paper so that you can look at them, you now have a list of where you need to increase your effort, right? If I have some fears around the possibility of me having a stroke, now I'm fully aware that I need to increase my effort on my physical health. You know what I mean? Fears around school. Okay, this is where I need to increase my effort. A lot of these things I don't know how to do alone. So now I have the fellowship and I reach out to my people and be like, hey, this is my fear. I need to increase effort here. Help me come up with
That's
a
a
plan.
good idea. I don't do that. You know
Now,
what?
now you're fear list is an asset
Yeah,
list.
so I can like write them down on a little whiteboard and like, okay, so let's work on that. Let's work on this.
Right.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I like that.
That's good. That's the whole point, right? The whole exchanging of tools, and that's so powerful. I mean, just that whole factor of putting down what's going on with you is super important.
It's a growth mindset.
Right. Because when you work through one, two more are going to pop up. That's life.
Yeah.
You know? But if you don't knock some of those out, the other ones are still going to come. You know, and then you get back to that point where it's consuming you.
Yeah. Well, we're reaching the end of our allotted time. I did want to finish off. I mean, I like to finish it off with something spiritual, right? Right now in your life, I mean, how's that looking for you? I mean, and what's also where you tune in and get spiritual, meaning with your higher power, whatever that looks for you. How do you do that?
How do I do that?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Like I continue to do what I'm doing right now. Actually, no, I can't say that because like what I want to do when I want to continue to do what I want to do. I really think I really need to like focus on like finding a good church to go to.
Mm.
Like honestly, like I think I shared this with. I don't know if I shared it with you, Dave. Like I go to these churches sometimes, and I go with you, and I'll go with I'll go to FFR or whatever. It's kind of like a church based thing, and I don't know. I just need to find the right church because I feel like me going to the right church, getting saved, getting baptized, getting do all this. I think all that is gonna help me stay on track, and that's one of my things I've been like kind of like lacking in. I work a lot. You know what I mean? I work on Sundays. I can't go to church, but I don't know. Maybe I just want to get. I don't want to get too spiritual. I don't mind whipping people with Bible verses and stuff like that. But I do want to get more into the Word. You know what I mean? Like for myself, and I think finding a good church and then actually just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know?
That sounds like a good goal to me. All right. Well, if you guys want to add anything, we wrap this up.
I'll touch on that real quick. Before I got comfortable at any church, I had to read through it myself, by myself, cover to cover, before I could have any kind of, like I said, comfortable or letting myself be taught by someone. You know, I had to read through it first. So I had my perception of it, and then I allowed myself.
There's this thing that happens when I'm in the church setting, man. I remember I went to Coloma to a thing, and they had a church, and I stopped going there the first day. And there's people there, there's females there, there's this and that. And it wasn't like I was like lusting at women around me, but for some reason, like every time that we'll get up and we'll start singing to the thing, and I'll be reading with it, following it, but I don't know why. It's weird. Like stuff starts getting dumped in my head. Like I'm thinking about porn, thinking about past relationships with girls that having these sex scenes in my head, and they just don't go away. I'm like, and they'll go away for a minute. And I'm like, oh God, please get this, please give it away. I want to read. I want to start praying. And then, and usually when I'm praying, I get this little sensation right here. But when I go to church, I never get it. I never get it. It's like because my head is being bombarded with all this this shit bullshit, you know. And it does that. I was at FFR with Megan, and I'm standing up next to her, and everybody's doing this. Maybe I need to put my arms up. I don't know. I don't put my arms up, and it starts coming. It's like bombs in my head.
Yeah.
And it's like random stuff that I'm thinking about, and then I start thinking about it more, and it starts manifesting into a different kind of scene. Like I'm not, and it's not just porn stuff. It's other stuff like criminal shit. It's just those are my demons, man.
Yeah.
That's
Spiritual
why.
warfare.
Yeah,
there's
spirit
an
wars,
aspect of that
man.
that's going on.
If you're seeking God, I can tell you this: the devil knows it, and he's going to work on you harder places that you least expect it. You expect to go to church and feel the Spirit move, right? But the devil's going to do everything in his power to stop that. Right? So, I'm a churchgoer, and it's just something that I found that when I pray before I go into church and just ask the Holy Spirit to interpret what I hear, right? Because a lot of that stuff I don't comprehend with my own thinking. Yeah. But it's the Spirit that will lead you. And when you're walking in the Spirit, that devil has no power over you. So, seeking you will find.
I could relate to that, right, in a big way. My terminology is a little different, but like as soon as, when I'm trying to be positive or I'm trying to live in spirit as far as, connected with my higher power, I don't necessarily see it like that, right? As far as like the devil and things like that. But in my mind, I see like, well, there's a lot of negative stuff out there, and it's all the same pretty much. But my reality is like, man, when I'm trying to do something positive and trying to stay on that route, right? What happens is there's a lot of challenges, right? Because you can't have one without the other. That's the beautiful contrast of all this is if you just want it one way, it's just not going to happen like that. There's going to be trials and tribulations, like when you. Yeah, exactly. So, and it comes back to what we said with the whole character. I mean, you wouldn't want it to be too easy, because then everybody'd have it, right? So there has to be definitely a form of challenge. Like obviously you want to get to a happy spot, but there's so much in, at least with me, like there's so much negativity that lives in with me, and the demons we talk about, the battles, like those aren't just going to go away. So until we can face them, right, where we talked about that 10th step, when you start putting it down and all these things that are going on inside you, right, you can start addressing, like for me, like the pornography thing, right? Well, for me, if I don't participate, then it won't be in my head, right? So I got to look at what I'm doing on my off hours before I get there. How much fucking porn am I watching? Sometimes I'll watch it every single day.
I'm not watching any porn. I'm not watching anything. Yeah. All I got is a Sports Illustrated swimsuit calendar, and that's it. That's it. That's all I got on the wall. Yeah. I got pictures of my kids up there,
that's
man.
Progress.
That's progress. You know what? I'm bringing something up. So remember we went to that men's retreat over there in Nevada City?
Yeah.
And that's where I actually really prayed on it there. And like it was the last day. The last day we were there. We were doing the last service there. And that was a great thing. And even though it was around a bunch of guys and everything, I was getting bombarded with so much shit. Even at the dinner table, even at the room, like I didn't stay there. I would go back home. Remember, he had to pick me up and drop me. And I remember just the whole time, like the energy that was there, like I felt I was being attacked by it. Like I was like quiet. I was like outside hitting the vape. Like I didn't want to go inside. Like I tried to, like it was snowing. I remember, and like. Yeah. And I remember the last session we had. It was that Sunday morning, and I was really praying. I was asking God, remove all this shit. Why is this happening? And then I just started praying the way I always pray, right? And then that's when I felt that little tingliness, and I kept going, and it lasted a good minute. But it's a battle, man. Like it's real for me. I know it's real because like I know it's real, and I know it's affecting me, and they're letting me know they're still there, and I need to work on that. that's why I say like the spiritual part for me, it needs to be that, because like I could, even though I'm lonely, I'm really not trying to pick up on, like the other day right here in the parking lot right here, two girls wanted to ride, and they were nice looking tweaker chicks. And
there's a few of them.
yeah, dude, they came up to the car, man, and I'm leaving, and they asked me, hey, could you give us a ride? We just need to go down the street. I'm like, I go, no, I can't do it, man. No. And then they were cute girls, man, and if I was high, I would have definitely done it. But at the same time, I'm like, I had to tell them, I'm like, look, man, look, I don't even have a girlfriend. I lied to them. I go, look, I don't know what you guys have on you. I'm not going to give you a fucking ride. Plus, my girlfriend's not going to like it. So I was like, making shit up at the same time. I'm like, I go, no, I'm not going to give you a ride. And then they just walked away.
Yeah.
That's the devil right there, man.
Isn't it funny?
That's the devil right there.
Isn't it funny though? You're trying to get out of something, and bam, you throw a lie in, and that's just the devil.
Yeah, see, I threw that in there too. I wasn't honest, but I should have just said, no, bitch, I'm not fucking picking you guys up. Like, no, I'm not.
I'm not letting a tweaker in my car.
I'm fucking, and I'm like, no. And,
wait a minute, come back here.
so
I got to tell you the truth. I really don't have a girlfriend.
Hey, it was late too. They were walking from Panda, or I don't even know if they were in Panda. They were walking from Rite Aid. And then they just took off, and I think they got picked up by somebody else. So I don't know what happened with them. I'd never seen those girls around there. I don't think they were homeless though, but they were tweakers.
They're about to be.
They're
not. They're not homeless, but they're well on their way. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Thank you, Mac, for showing up and sharing us part of you and sharing your recovery with us, man. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Eric. Thank you, Dave.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Mac. Appreciate you sharing about what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now, and what demons that you're battling.
Yeah. Now you got a goal.
Gotta go. Yeah.
Now you got a goal, and
I'm gonna definitely do the fear thing. I got a whiteboard that I use. I'm gonna use that.
Hell yeah. All right, thank you. Well, this is FD Recovery. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in to FD Recovery. A reminder, be kind to yourself on this journey of recovery. Also, call your sponsor, get connected to local support groups, and for one day at a time, stay clean and sober.